Assalamu alaikum everyone. I welcome all of you to this Project Management Professional Certification webinar. My name is Ammar Ali Yasir, and by profession I am a civil engineer. I did Masters in Project Management. I'm PMI certified project management professional, program management professional, risk management professional. I'm professional in business analysis. I have also done PMI scheduling professional and some other certification, certified cost professional, certified compliance and ethics profession, and earned value professional. And I have been working in IDAP for last 4 years as an assistant manager with chief operating officer. So in today's webinar, we are going to discuss what is project management professional exam, what are its benefits, who should take this exam, what is the process of PMP exam, its fee structure, eligibility criteria, application procedure, exam pattern, PMP course, what are the 35 PDUs or contact hours, and distinctive features of the course that you should take. In the last part, we would have a Q&A, question and answer session, where I will be answering you questions regarding PMP exam. So I would like to start by highlighting that Project Management Institute, PMI, explains that good project manager should have 3 types of skills. He should be good in his technical field. Along with the technical expertise, he or she should have leadership skills and strategic and business management skills. So this is PMI Talent Triangle. But today's dilemma of our professional is that we work in knowledge silos. What I mean by knowledge silos, you might have heard the term functional silos, departmental silos. But what is meant by knowledge silos? Knowledge silos means if somebody is technically sound in his field, he or she would not, think about other areas or related areas. For example, if someone is a civil engineer, he might be good in material testing, he might be good in concrete related things, but he or she might not have idea the underlying operation processes or procedures that are linked with the site management. So we work in knowledge silos. And what is the result of this? The result is that we lack necessary skills as outlined by Project Management Institute, that a project manager should not only be skilled in his technical domain, he should have some leadership skills, some business management skills, some decision making, some strategic management skill. So the first problem we face today is we work in knowledge silos. Second is when we work in knowledge silos and we are only expert of our own domain and we don't have any idea what other departments do, the result of this is that we lack interdepartmental integration and coordination. Professionals hesitate to interact with other departments. They don't have any idea that how other departments or functions perform, and consequently there is no interdepartmental integration. And we can see in our organizations where we have been working that interdepartmental integration is one of the biggest problems. The third one is lack of internationally recognized best practices. The people who are in the project management field, they try to apply, traditional practices, local knowledge that they have learned during their career, but they are hesitant to apply internationally recognized best practices. And one of the reasons is that probably they do not have enough time to go to their desk and explore internationally recognized standards, books, practices, research, what they have done. And we are simply just going on haphazard practices and we are not improving. So this is also one of the major problems. Non-existent learning culture. People who are involved in project management, they are, that much occupied in the field activities that they are not, focused on learning. They are not focused on adding new skills to their resume. They are not looking into the processes. They are not thinking about the improvement. They are just doing day-to-day work. So this has resulted into non-existing learning culture. So this is also one of the key problems of today's professional. Next is dearth of multi-talented workforce. The problem with the today's professional is that, as I have mentioned earlier, that they might be good in their own field, but they are not, expert or well aware of the related fields. As I mentioned, that you are good in technical skills, but you might not be good in related areas. So Masaki Rimai, a Japanese researcher and author, he says that one of the message of the Kaizen strategy is that not a day should go by without some kind of improvement being made somewhere in the company. So if we are not improving ourselves, if we are not making positive changes, then there are less chances of achieving the success or achieving the target. So there should be a continuous improvement, continuous self-development, continuous skills development, continuous knowledge gaining in order to address the problems that I have mentioned in the previous slide. So in order to skills and knowledge development, today's webinar is organized to make you people aware about one of the key or one of the important standards in project management industry, that is project management professional certification. So what is PMP? PMP is Project Management Professional Certification. It's world's leading and top project management certification. It is the most desired certification. If you see, in 2012, the PMP credential was ranked as a top certification by CIO USA, one of the top research institutes in the United States of America. In 2015, the PMP credential was ranked as the #4 certification by Global Knowledge. And in 2015, the PMP credential was #7 of the ZDNet's 10 best IT certification. And PricewaterhouseCoopers concluded that the PMP is the 5th highest paying certification by the year 2016. So it's world's leading and top project management certification. It's the most desired certification. It's internationally recognized, and it is considered as the gold standard of project management. What is meant by standard? We use various standards in our fields. For example, if we are contract engineers, so we use FIDIC contracts. If we talk about quality management, we use ISO standards. If we talk about concrete, we use American Society for Testing and Material, ASTM, and ASTO for the highways. We use American Concrete Institute's codes, ACI codes. For safety, we use NIBOSH and OSHA. FTI we use for healthcare, JCI standards, and HBN UK is also for healthcare. So what does it mean that we use global standard in our day-to-day operations or day-to-day work related to our fields? Similarly, in the field of project management, this PMP is considered as global standard. So what is meant by global standard? That they have, they have gathered the good practices, they have gathered the internationally recognized practices, and they have combined them into a body of knowledge that is considered as implementable all over the world with some tailoring. So if I conclude, PMP is Project Management Professional Certification. It certifies one's project management expertise. It validates one project management knowledge and skills. For example, if you are a civil engineer and you go somewhere and you say you are a civil engineer, but you don't have any degree that certifies your skill set, nobody would consider you as a civil engineer. So similarly, PMP certifies your project management skills. If you are a PMP certified and you present your PMP certificate, it means you have gone through a rigorous training program. You have prepared for almost 2 to 3 months, and you have also passed one of the toughest project management exams in the world. So this certifies, this testifies, this validates your project management expertise. So that's why it is considered as a gold standard of project management. Next, we have what is PMI. PMI is the institute that administers the project management professional exam. It's an international body. It promotes internationally recognized project management best practices all over the world. It's the world's leading authority when it comes to project management, and it publishes, it writes, it disperses body of knowledge. So one of the confusions about PMP exam is majority of people think that PMP exam is, is to just read one book and go for the exam and that's it. It doesn't work like that. PMP exam is not an exam from just one book, sometimes referred as PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. Body of knowledge is something different. Let me give you a detailed overview. What is the body of knowledge that PMI has established, and PMI is, adding everyday new knowledge to this body of knowledge. So PMI has foundational standards. Foundational standards in the field of project management. You can see in the left side of your screen, it is a guide to the project management body of knowledge, PMBOK guide. This is the guide that provide guidelines relating entire body of knowledge. And what is body of knowledge? Body of knowledge includes all the foundation standards, all the practice standards, all its extension, and the entire knowledge in the field of project management. You can see PMI has published separate standard on program management, portfolio management, organizational project management, and it is for not only for the entry level professional. PMI has published separate standards for the various ranks of professional. For example, if you are at the entry level in your career, you can pursue CAPM, CAPM certification. If you are working on projects, you can read PMBOK guide, project management body of knowledge. If you are working on more than one project, you can refer to program management guide. And similarly, if you are working as a senior management a member of a senior management team, you can refer to portfolio management or organizational project management. Similarly, for risk management professionals, PMI has published a risk management standard. And for planning and scheduling professional, they have published earned value management standard. And similarly, for people of business analysis, those who are working in our HQ department, PMI has published PMI guide to business analysis. So these are the foundational standards that PMI has published. Along with that, PMI has published some specific documents that those are related to certain domains. For as I mentioned, for planning and scheduling, they have published separate standard on project standard for scheduling. And one of the biggest areas of concern for us is to manage project schedule. So if one wishes to improve project schedules or to know that how developed countries manage their project schedule, one could refer to the project standard for scheduling. And similarly, there is another standard for project estimation, project standard for work breakdown structure, and project manager competency development framework. It is for the people who are involved in resource development area. They could refer to this standard and to enhance project competency of their project managers. And similarly, they have project configuration management that is related to archive, that how to document the data, how to retrieve data, and how to make the entire data consistent throughout the organization in all the departments. So PMI has published domain-specific standards. So one can refer to the specific document that is related to one's domain. Similarly, there are another practice standard, Agile Practice Guide for IT professionals, business analysis for business development team, requirements management guideline. This is an area on which we do not pay much attention. This guide highlights that how to collect requirements from the client, how to manage those requirements, what to do when a client demands something different from the initial requirements. So this is all about requirements management. Then you can see the benefit realization, portfolio management, managing change in organization, and navigating complexity. And one of the important publications of the project management body of knowledge, or PMI, is construction extension to the PMBOK guide. PMBOK Guide, Project Management Body of Knowledge, is a generic project management book. However, they have published another book that is extension to the PMBOK Guide, in which they have tailored the PMBOK according to the construction industry. So if one reads or goes through this construction extension, one would get sufficient knowledge and data in terms of processes, in terms of tools and techniques, in terms of documents, in terms of people's management, process management, in terms of understanding organizational culture, and in order to manage multidisciplinary team, not only of your own, but to managing stakeholders like managing client, managing contractor, consultant. So one can find all these details in the construction extension to the PMBOK Guide. Then they have also published government extension to the PMBOK Guide, software extension to the PMBOK Guide, and organizational project management maturity model. There are certain reference guides that one can use while working regarding day-to-day assignments. Reference guides include a project manager's book of forms. This book includes all the forms and templates that we use in our day-to-day work. For example, templates of IPC, template of invoice, template of contractor's claim, template of risk register, issue log, lesson learned repository, stakeholders register, template of assumption log, project management plan, template of project schedule. So each and everything you can find in this book, a project manager's book of form. And on the right side, you can see a project manager's book of tool and techniques. In order to perform day-to-day work, project manager has to use various tools, various techniques. So one can learn about those tools and techniques in this book. And in the center, you have project management metrics, KPIs, and dashboards. This is for the senior management to understand what should be reported, how to manage projects effectively. So by showing you applications of body of knowledge, the idea was to give you an impression that PMP is not just a one book exam. It's a sea of knowledge. It's a sea of best practices. It's sea of the practices that developed world has been employing since long. So if we use these practices, if we learn these practices and try to implement in our projects, I'm sure that there would be huge chances of success and improvement. And one thing I want to clear is that these standards and practices should not be implemented as it is. PMBOK or PMI has provided separate standard for tailoring. PMI suggests that if a professional wishes to implement these PMI published standard in his organization, first of all, he needs to tailor them according to his or its organization's need. So there is an option of tailoring as well. So we should go through these documents depending upon the requirement, and we should tailor them and try to implement them. And once we implement these standards in our organization, then we have to we need to gauge the effectiveness or the improvement. If we see some sort of improvement, then we should go rigorously to implement these standards in our organization. So why PMP? I have mentioned a few of the benefits of PMBOK, Project Management Body of Knowledge. As it's a sea of knowledge, you can refer to the extensive knowledge related to your own field, whether you are working as a planning engineer, whether you're working on costing, you're working as in communications to manage stakeholders, you are one of the team members of senior management, you want to monitor the projects, you are working as a project manager. So this body of knowledge helps you a lot. So why PMP? So first of all, project management professional certification is not just one exam. When you go through these standards, when you go through these books, it adds to your knowledge, it adds to your skill set. As I mentioned, that there are 3 types of skill that PMI suggests that a professional should have: technical project management, leadership, and strategic and business management. So if you see in the technical domain, you would learn data gathering and management, you would learn earned value management. So one of the problems here is that if you talk about earned value analysis, to a professional who is not planning engineer or who is not involved in scheduling, he or she doesn't have any idea what is earned value management. So that's why our schedules are not well framed. They are not integrated with each other. We have schedules for the civil work, but we do not have proper schedules for the other domains like IT, biomed, and other similar domains. And we don't have any integration because people don't have idea about earned value analysis and all these functionalities. So if you become PMP certified, you would learn these technical skills. You would learn this technical jargon. You will learn these technical terminologies: earned value analysis, life cycle management, performance management, requirements management and traceability, risk management as well, because one of the key areas of PMP exam is risk management. That is almost non-existent here. So once you pass PMP exam, you would not only learn risk management, you can implement in your domain. You would learn schedule management, you would learn scope management, cost, budget, quality, and other similar areas. Along with the technical skills, PMI or PMP teaches you strategic and business management skills. It develops business acumen, competitive analysis, customer relationship and satisfaction, industry knowledge and standards, legal and regulatory compliance, market awareness and condition, and strategic planning, analysis and alignment. You can be part of decision-making team. You can be, give useful feedback while you are in the meeting with the senior management if you are PMP certified. Along with that, one of the very important areas of PMP is leadership skills. You might be good in your technical skills, but wherever you are working, you have to manage people. You have to work with people. You have to engage with people. So in order to work with people effectively, you need to be a good leader. So PMP teaches you how you can be a good leader. PMP describes qualities of a good leader. PMP teaches you how to, coach people, how to mentor them, how to manage their conflicts, how to employ emotional intelligence while managing people, how to influence them, what are the interpersonal skills, listening, negotiation, problem solving, and team building. So once you go through the body of knowledge that I have shown you in the previous slides, you would get the idea that what are the qualities of a good leader. So PMP teaches you not only the technical skills, it introduces you to the strategic and business management skill and the leadership skills. So this is one of the key benefits of PMP exam, that if you are PMP, you would not only be good in your technical skills, and you'll also be good in leadership skills, in people management, in communication, in negotiation, in report writing, in documentation, and developing something. So this is the one of the benefits of PMP exam. Next is validation. For example, as I mentioned earlier, you are an engineer or you are a business professional, but you do not have any degree. Nobody would trust you that you are an engineer until you present some sort of proof that you have gone through rigorous learning process, you have attended classes, and you have gone through exams to prove your competence. So similarly, PMP exam in the field of project management is sort of a validation to your skills. It validates, it certifies, it testifies that the professional has gone through, extensive project management training. He attended project management training, and not only he has taken the lectures, he has prepared from the body of knowledge. He has gone through this sea of knowledge or body of knowledge, and once he got prepared, he successfully passed the exam as well. So this is a type of validation to your skills, a type of certification to your skill. If you are a PMP certified, everybody would believe you that you are good in managing people, you are good in report writing, you are good in monitoring and control, you are good in managing other areas like risk management, schedule management, and you know the entire project management process. For example, if you are working as a planning engineer, you should have idea that how to manage stakeholders, because you also have to engage with the stakeholder, whether from the contractor side, whether from the consultant side or the client side. So while being planning engineer, you should have skills to manage your stakeholders, skills to engage with stakeholders. You know the communication. You should know the communication strategies. So PMP teaches you all skills, and once it is written with your name, so the person who is looking at your name instantly gets the idea that you are experienced in project management and you are capable of leading or participating in project management activities, whether at site or in office. Along with that, there are monetary gains, which I call them as subsidiary gains. Another problem of our today's professional is that we are always looking to add something to our resume. We are more interested in writing something on our resume rather than learning something, rather than adding something to our skill set, rather than developing ourselves. So I call these monetary gains and secondary benefits. The key benefits, the primary benefits I have mentioned earlier, that you develop yourself, you you could become better version of yourself, and it's sort of validation to your skills and your expertise. So in monetary gains, PMI says that PMP professionals earns up to 25% more than those who are non-PMPs. And this, they have established it through extensive research in the market. You could be considered for promotions, you could be considered for bonuses and awards, you could be considered for higher ranks and roles. And there might be a few people who could say that they are PMPs, but they are not getting these monetary benefits. The problem is that you just need not to have to pass the exam. You need to implement your knowledge. You need to tailor your knowledge and implement in your organization. I have seen many PMPs who passed PMP exam, but they have no idea how to tailor the knowledge and how to implement that knowledge in their organization or wherever they are working. So the next step, once you pass the PMP exam, you need to implement this knowledge in your organization. For example, we have tried to implement a chunk of PMP knowledge in IDAP, and inshallah, you'll see extensive changes or extensive improvement in terms of and the way we work, just because of we are employing project management practices by PMI. So in monetary gains, you could expect higher salary, you could expect promotion, bonuses, rewards, and higher ranks that would ultimately lead you to the promotion. So it's globally recognized. For example, if you are working in Pakistan and you have done masters in project management somewhere in the local university, that masters wouldn't have much recognition outside of Pakistan. And when you interact with at international level, people wouldn't recognize you as a project manager, because the way PMP recognizes your skills, there isn't anything else that certifies or validates your project management skill. So another benefit of PMP is global recognition. So the next thing is networking. So once you pass PMP exam, you got the opportunity to interact with professionals from all over the world, from experienced project managers. You can talk to them, you can learn from them, you can discuss with them. And this is also one of the benefits of PMP certification. So if I summarize, what would you expect from a PMP certification? The most important thing is you would see a massive change, a huge change in your personality as a professional, and it would definitely add a huge number of skills to your personality: technical skills, leadership skills, business management skills, and strategic management skills as well. And it validates your skill set, it validates your expertise, it validates, certifies your competence. You can expect monetary gains and globally recognized opportunities for networking with global leaders, with the project managers who are working at global level. So PMP for home. After giving the detailed idea of what the PMI is, what is body of knowledge, and what are the benefits of PMP, I think it should be clear to all of you that PMP is for those professionals who are working in projects in any capacity, whether you are a planning engineer, scheduling engineer, contracts engineer, you are working in the healthcare sector, whether you are an IT professional, you are an engineer, you have done business studies, MBA or BBA, you are an architect or a structural engineer, wherever you have to interact with people, you have to manage people, you have to communicate with people, you have to write reports, you have to manage your products, you have to meet deadlines, you have to consider customer satisfaction. This PMP is for you. So if I show you this, if you love to manage projects, if you love to perform your professional duties in a more structured and systematic manner, I think this is one of the key benefits of PMP exam. If you want to get out of haphazard approach, if you want to be more structured and more systematic in your work, more organized in your work, then this PMP is for you. If you want to stand out from the crowd, I have seen people complaining that they apply for the jobs, but they never, got the interview call and the employer didn't call them. The reason is that your resume is similar to the people who is sitting next to you or who has applied for the job. So in order to stand out from the crowd, you need to be a PMP so that you have the skill set that employers need. If you want to be recognized, noticed, and appreciated, if you want bonuses, salary raise, and promotions, if you are looking for a better role, if you want to be a leader, so this PMP is for you. Next, PMP process, very simple process, very easy process. I have listed down 5 steps process in here. What you need to do, first of all, you need 35 contact hours of formal project management training. If you have done masters in project management, then there is no need of project management training. You can refer to those lectures that you got in the university, that you attended in the university, as 35 contact hours. So the first step is you need to have 35 contact hours of training from PMI certified project management trainer. Once you get this 35 contact hours training, then you would submit the PMP application. Once the application gets approved, you would finalize your preparation, then PMP exam. It's just a one paper exam. And once the exam is passed, you would go for certification. So the entire process takes 6 to 8 weeks from training to getting certified. So this is the ideal time if anyone wants to prepare for PMP exam. So it would take 6 to 8 weeks maximum to be a PMP. So eligibility criteria, if you have 4 years bachelor degree with 3-year or 36 months project management experience and 35 contact hours of project management training, you are eligible for this exam. And if you don't have a bachelor's degree, no worries. You can, mention your 3 years diploma, but with 3-year diploma, you need 5 years of experience along with 35 contact hours of project management training. So if you fall under either of these 2 categories, you are eligible for the PMP exam. Next is the exam pattern. Exam could be center-based or as well as online at home. You can take the exam at your home. You can register for the exam, you can schedule your exam online, and you can take your exam anywhere, whether you are in your office, whether you are in home, or wherever you are. Simply log into the your ID and start the exam, and you can take the exam online at home. But if you have problems regarding internet connectivity or a specification of the system required to run the exam smoothly, you could go to specific center, Pearson VUE centers. You can schedule your exam there, and you can go there and take the exam at Pearson VUE centers. So you can take your exam anytime, 24/7. There is no schedule like we have other exams. Those are conducted on specific schedules, specific dates. But PMP exam you can take anytime, anywhere, and it's online now. 180 MCQs. So you would expect 180 MCQs, and 175 would be marked and 5 MCQs would not be marked. 5 questions would be pre-test questions and those questions would not be marked, but you don't have any idea that which questions are pre-test and which questions are real. So you would expect 180 questions in the PMP exam. The total time is 3 hours 30 minutes. This includes 2 breaks of 10 minutes each after every 60 questions. The breaks are optional. You can take the breaks after each 60 questions. So total time is 3 hours 30 minutes. In 3 hours 30 minutes, you have to answer 180 multiple choice questions. And very important thing, what is the passing criteria? And the good news is PMP has shifted the passing criteria from 70% to 61%. So let me show you the trend in the passing criteria. Before 2010, the passing criteria was around 84%, and it was very difficult for the PMP aspirants to pass the exam. So then PMI relaxed the passing criteria, and the passing criteria then they decided was 71%. And when they dropped the passing criteria, they saw a huge bump in PMPs all over the world. So then when 5th edition came, they again adjusted it and it was 79%. And now, as they have introduced certain changes in PMP exam, now the passing criteria is just 61%. So you have to answer 115 or 117 question correct in order to be PMP certified. So what is the book? The reference book for PMP exam is Project Management Body of Knowledge, PMBOK Guide 6th edition. PMBOK Guide 7th edition has been written and it's going to be published on August 1, 2021. But right now we have PMBOK 6th edition, and we can expect that the PMP exam would be from PMBOK 6th edition till March 2022. So you have sufficient time to pass the exam based on 6th edition, and after that they would implement PMBOK Guide 7th edition. So next is PMP exam fee. PMP has a concept of members and non-members. They have different fee for the members and the different fee for non-members. If you are not a member of PMI, you have to pay $555, which are approximately 86,000 rupees in Pakistani currency. So if you are a member of PMI, you have to pay 62,000 rupees, $405. So what is the membership fee? Membership fee is $21,545, $139. So if I add these two, membership fee and the PMP fee, you have to pay 84,500 rupees as an exam fee. So you can have other benefits of being PMP. You could have access to this body of knowledge. All the books that I have shown you in the previous slides, you can download these books in the PDF and you can read those books. But if you are not a PMI member, you wouldn't have access to these valuable resources, and you would not receive any discount on PMI exams. Like you can see that if you are a PMI member, you would have to pay $405 instead of $555. So this is the PMP exam fee. What are the exam changes? Some of you might thinking about that the PMI has changed the exam on January 2, 2021. So what are the changes? So I have listed down the changes. In 2020, total questions were 200. Now the questions are 180. The time was 4 hours. Now the time is 3.5 hours. In 2020, the questions were from predictive approach. Now they have introduced the agile approach. I'm not going into detail that what is predictive and agile. And in 2020, all 200 questions were MCQs, multiple choice questions. But now 90% questions are MCQs based, and the 10% questions are drag and drop, cross match, and fill in the blanks. And one important change is that in 2020, the exam was based on memorization. You have to memorize a lot of things. You have to memorize formulas. You have to memorize certain relationships, certain diagrams. But now The exam is situational based. You need not to memorize anything. You just need to learn the concept, and it is situational based. So these are the key changes in 2021 exam. Why failures? I'm just rapidly going through this slide. One of the key reasons behind failure is that the PMPs do not get 35 PDUs from the right place. They attend recorded sessions. They attend boot camps. Boot camp is organized by various training institutes. Boot camps are of 2 to 3 days or 4 days. In 4 days, they teach you the entire body of knowledge. And what happens ultimately when people attend those boot camps, they fail. So if I conclude this analysis that is conducted by one of the renowned institutes, so they concluded that one of the biggest reasons behind failure is the boot camps, that people attend 2 to 3 days of boot camp and ultimately they fail the exam. So what I suggest you is to say a big no to boot camps and attend a complete course, whether online or live. I'll suggest you some good institutes that provide PMP trainings. Attend the complete course of 13, 15 or 16 lecture rather than just 2 days or 3 days boot camps. So what should be the key features of the course that you should take? It should be a course, not a boot camp, and it should be rigorous preparation, not just a certificate. Many of us join, courses to get a certificate, but I suggest you don't go to get just a certificate. Join a program to learn something, join a program to enhance your skills, join a program to get knowledge from the body of knowledge that I have shared with you. So do not join any course just for the sake of training certificate. The session should be feedback oriented. Don't take recorded lectures, because in recorded lectures you cannot ask the trainer, you cannot clarify your confusion. So there should be a two-way communication. So it's better to take online live webinar where you can have one-to-one communication with your PMI's certified trainer. Do not take training from anybody other than who is a PMI Project Management Institute certified project management trainers. So there is a list of PMI certified trainers. You can go to PMI website and you can select any of the PMI certified trainer. And don't pay hefty amounts to for training. Try to choose the course which is slightly or relatively cheaper as compared to others. So what resources you have to use? You have to use PMBOK guide. Along with, if PMBOK guide seems difficult to you, you can use PMP Exam Prep 10th edition for 2021 exam by Rita Malkahi. This is like a guide. For example, in our education, we use our textbook. Along with that, there was certain guides. So this is the standard, and along with the standard, you can use this PMP Exam Prep guide. And I'll recommend these two books, reference books, when you study for PMP exam: A Project Manager's Book of Forms, A Project Manager's Book of Tools and Techniques. And the last slide is practice questions. Once you attended the training and you went through these resources that I mentioned in the previous slide, you need to solve practice questions. And what is the right source of practice question is PM Prepcast. You need to purchase this PM Prepcast. It is online and it is almost similar to PMP real exam. So if you get 70% marks in this, then schedule your exam, whether online or center based. And I'll guarantee you, if you get 70% marks in PM Prepcast, you could easily pass the exam. So that's it from me. I tried to share my experience with you regarding PMP exam. I mentioned the benefits, the PMP process, eligibility criteria, and all other related information. If you have any sort of question regarding what we have discussed, you can please ask. Yes, Uzair, if you have any question, please ask.
What is the registration process for PMI and for PMP?
Registration process For PMI, you just need to, go to the PMI website and submit an application. First, you have to fill up the application form, and in the application form, what they need is, your experience, where did you work, and what were your key responsibilities. So once you list down your responsibilities in the application form, you submit it, and it takes 5 to 7 days to review. After the review, it gets approved, and you're good to go to take it.
Okay, thanks. I have another question.
Yes, please.
You have recommended 2 other books,
Yes.
other than Rita and PMBOK.
Yes.
Is it necessary to read those as well, or the Rita and PMBOK is enough?
Okay, let me clarify here that if you just want to pass the exam, you need to read PMBOK guide. But if you want to understand, and if you want to enhance your skill set, I would strongly recommend to use those reference books, Project Manager's Book of Forms and Project Manager's Book of Tools and Techniques. Those would be highly helpful in our day-to-day work that we perform in IDAP. So that's why I recommend those books, because the books would give you practical insight to what PMP documents are, what PMP techniques are, so that you can use those techniques in our day-to-day work. So that's why I recommended those books. But if you are understanding the PMBOK guide, so no need to go through those books.
Okay, I have heard that the PMI is changing the exam pattern. Is it so?
Yes, I told you that the PMI has already changed its exam pattern on January 2, 2021. All right. So I don't think so they are going to change it again. They would change after during 2022 once the 7th edition gets implemented.
Okay, thank you so much.
So thank you so much, all of you, for joining this webinar, and you can reach out to me anytime for guidance regarding project management certification, and other certifications or exams. I would be happily help you guys. So thank you so much. Thank you HR for organizing this session, and happy learning.